time. You come in at these times. You take your first break at this time. You take your second break at this time. You take your third break at this time, and you repeat. You get off at this time. You come in the next day. You repeat. You come in the next day. You repeat. Next week, come up. You don't ask about the schedule. Hey, boss, you want me to come in at this time? They already told you that you come in at that time. Why do you treat your job with the same with that kind of passion, and you go there? They told you one time. This is what time you're supposed to come in. This is what time you get off. And every single week you follow that. But when it comes to the people around you, you don't necessarily put that kind of same commitment into the people around you.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trump Podcast. It is me, Aaron Mack, and here with me, as always, the lovely, the gorgeous, the admirable, the spontaneous, Alyssa Ramirez. All right, all jokes aside. Do we have you on the mic? Are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So today is just me and Alyssa, and Marcus and Courtney are not present with us. But we just gonna go ahead and make that thing happen. But work still got to be done. It's all good. It's all good. Man, oh man, how you been doing? Well, I know the answer to that. We live together, so I mean, just hell yeah.
How are you doing?
We live together now, by the way. Just in case anybody didn't know that. I don't think we really told anybody. I think everybody just so kind of used to you not being around. They didn't even notice.
I think eventually they would have noticed.
I noticed.
Oh, I would hope so. Because now I've made every little bit of your space.
Yeah, I noticed how you take up the bed at night.
I intentionally try and get up in the middle of the night and move myself over.
Just like all night long.
I'm sorry, but I diagonally sleep.
No, I love you though. How am I doing? It's been a bit of a rough week. I didn't necessarily. It started off pretty bad, and I want to actually get into that conversation that we had the other day. The one that upset you.
The one that we were never supposed to speak about.
No, not necessarily that one. The conversation about people disappointing and things of that nature. But not necessarily people disappointing you, but just
not
having
following through.
That and having expectations about what is supposed to be done and what people are supposed to do and things of that nature. Like I want to discuss that. I want to know like if there's a possibility that you and I could have this conversation and I could get your perspective on things and maybe I can give you a little perspective on how I feel about certain things, and maybe we can help each other out. And the fact of us talking about it and bringing it to light might actually help us move forward as a company. All right, let me ask you a question. Like, I don't feel like there's anybody on this planet right now that know me as much as you know me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to a point where you know me to the point where you try to make decisions for me, even though sometimes I think you be like, I think the decisions that you make for me sometimes be like sneak disses more than they are just anything else. It's like the coffee thing. You just kind of like okay.
I didn't make a decision for you. Either you drink it or you don't.
Maybe I would make this for him because I know he's not going to drink it, and I know he need to cut back on coffee. Or something like that.
No.
Like, no.
I made that for me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Dope.
My coffee was just fine.
Oh, so you did it on purpose?
No.
You sabotaged it?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, yeah. So you are the person in this world right now that knows me more than anybody else. Like you know me more than my own family, and I would like to say that you know me even more than my ex,
I would
which
hope so.
which says a lot. Um, but I want to know from you, like from your personal perspective of me as a person, and we could probably take this back to our disc assessments as well too,
Hmm.
and kind of had this conversation. But do you think my expectations of people are too high?
In certain situations, yes. Me and you are very much self-starters, go-getters, get things done. Like if I set myself a task or some sort of goal, I'm going to get there. Others might be a little bit more slow going. Sometimes they'll put it off. They're procrastinators. They're the ones that will do it when they feel like it, when they feel the motivation to do it, when they have somebody to motivate them. There's individuals that probably have the lower D and I. Well, D and I don't know which one. Lower D. That would need someone to push them for them to do something. Or else they would, if left to their own devices, they just sit around and play video games or just do whatever all day. Sit and lounge, watch Netflix. But certain individuals like us, like I am very goal driven. Like it pains me if I don't make a goal right.
Yeah,
If I don't put my 100% effort into something, then it kills me.
yeah,
If you don't get something done, like it drags on you. That way you're up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. at max. You're always trying to get things done. You feel like anxious if you don't have something that you're doing.
yeah.
Others, I don't think are like that. I think you have certain expectations. They don't range very much depending on the type of people, which is why I think that we just need to be smarter about which people we have around us.
Yeah. Well, I'm not necessarily walking around giving people disc assessments, which if I had that option, I definitely would. But I see your point.
I mean, just
walk
like in
around
general.
with a disc assessment app. Just how
In
do
general.
we not know that doesn't exist?
Huh?
We can find a disc assessment app and give it to people and let people take it while we. Is that a thing? Can we do
That's
that?
very unrealistic.
Yeah, that is unrealistic. Okay. All right. I see.
Like, okay, first
of all,
before I meet you, before I ever like give you 5 minutes of my time, fill out this disc.
all right. So before we had this conversation, bruh, I need you to do me one favor. Take this test.
Here, fill out these 52 questions, and then based on your percentage, we'll figure out whether or not we got something to
We
work
can
with.
figure out if we can have this conversation or not. You might not be worth my time. Oh man, what I'm saying though is like, all right. So I get what you're saying, but allow me to kind of be a devil's advocate for a second. And I hate being a devil's advocate.
That's usually my thing.
I usually just have one side. Right. It
That's
is.
usually my
I
thing.
know.
What the
I know.
hell?
Let me take your. Let me.
Why are you stealing
let me-
mine?
let me-
I want it back.
Because I want you to expand.
want it back.
I want you to
I
expand
want it
and
back.
expand on your conversation, and be and you know I'm trying to help you out here. That's what I'm doing. I'm helping you
you
out.
know.
Yeah. So
Oh, aren't you sweet?
yeah, it's like I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like if we have a job to do, and both of us will be held accountable for doing this certain job, then why aren't both of us putting our energy into it?
Both of us are.
Don't make it too specific. I'm trying to be broad here.
Well, then why say us?
It was a general question.
Okay, rephrase it then.
So, all right. So, I guess what I'm asking is, if two people have a job and you were supervising that same job, one person is slacking off, and the other person is like like going, like giving it their all. Both people are in the same position doing the same thing, but yet one is being lackluster with it. They're not putting any passion in it. They're not moving with a purpose. They just pretty much surviving for the most part. They're not trying to do it. They're just doing it because I don't know, whatever their reason is for being in that situation. For the person who's overseeing it, why wouldn't they expect both people to do the exact same thing?
You would expect it. However, you need to find the other individual's motivations. Like
All right.
if at the end of the day, they're looking to do something different or do something a different way, or they feel like their voice is not being heard, or if they figure they've got a lot on their plate and they just want to try and take smaller bits. Like it's up to the manager to figure out what that is and make the tweaks to make it work. If not, then that person gets termed.
In reality, they do. In reality, they do. But not, if we want to take it to a work perspective, we don't necessarily drive that type of culture at our job either.
No. Well, I mean, we kind of do.
We don't. Because remember that situation that I told you about last week? That guy still has a job. Me personally, I would have fired his ass. If I had the power to, I would have fired his ass.
Hey, rephrase.
I would have fired his ham pots.
What?
His ham pots. I would have fired. Yeah.
That's a word?
Ham parts. Yeah. Yeah.
Hind part.
Ham pots.
No, it's like, how do they pronounce her name? Ern.
Country folks. Yes.
Ern.
Yeah.
No.
I would have fired his hind parts. There you go. But yeah, yeah. I don't understand the This is tough, man. This is tough. I don't understand like maybe that's a issue of mine. I'm pretty sure the disc assessment said something about me doing a better job at understanding people's motivations and don't hold people at such a high standards or something of that nature. It told me to do where it said the things that I should work on, not holding or there's a few words that it
We
gave
could pull it up and then we can pull it up and
we don't have time.
we can pull it up in the video editing. We can read it really fast and then
I don't want to do that. But yeah, it definitely told me to that I need to work on understanding people a little better and getting out of my own way, because I'm so goal oriented, go that other people just can't necessarily keep up with that. But the thing is like I don't understand. Like maybe I just haven't found the right people in my life to
Maybe.
to did you yawn?
yeah,
Okay.
internally.
Oh, okay. I just yeah. All right. So maybe I just didn't find the right people or have the right people in my life that are going to satiate the need of fulfillment. Because I don't necessarily feel like there's a feeling of fulfillment when it comes to some of the things that I do. And people come around all the time and they work on stuff with us, and I just don't feel like everybody is in it. And it's like I don't want to bring that up in conversation, because it's like, all right, dog, I know you're doing this, but it just kind of feel like you're doing it because I'm telling you to. Not versus
You believe in the
you
cause.
want to do this, or you believe in it, that you feel like doing it. Like I just don't. I don't know how to bring that up in conversation.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just me, because it's like and I've been on the brunt end of conversations. Like Herb tell me all the time, like, look, man, you got to tell people what you need. And it's like, I put the expectation out there, so are my needs not necessarily being read, or do I just need to keep reminding somebody like, yo, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, I need you to do that? Do I need to keep constantly beating that dead horse? Like how?
There's some people that you do.
Like
There's some people where you have to phrase it differently each
and that
time.
confuses me though.
Yeah, I mean, not all of us are the same. Like me and you, like one way of me saying something like pecan, you're like pecan.
I mean, but like for real, like it's like
People phrase things differently. The way that their brain works is different. So sometimes there's just like the example of you and people on the corral. Like the way that you phrase something, like, okay, this is not how you're supposed to turn it. Like you have to treat things differently based on what you're doing.
Alyssa just made a work reference, so for anybody who's not getting it. Yeah, so we can kind of breeze past that one because that's not they.
No, it works.
Most listeners wouldn't understand what you're referring to. So,
but you can expand on it.
I guess Alyssa was referring to a way that I train at our job versus how other people train. I'm assuming you just
need to understand people,
yeah, or
in order to make things different.
I get that, but all right. So here's my issue: the understanding people isn't the problem that I have. It's the issue that I have is that how much do I have to go to understand another person when that person isn't trying to understand me? How far do I go to meet somebody halfway if the halfway point is keeps moving farther and farther on their side of the stick?
Yeah.
Like how far do I take it in that case? And that's the issue that I'm having. Cuz it's like if I say all right, schedule. We plan out a schedule. This is what happens on this schedule. Why is it next week you asking me about what's on the schedule? Like, you have a job. Your job tells you to come in on these days at this time. You come in at these times. You take your first break at this time. You take your second break at this time. You take your third break at this time, and you repeat. You get off at this time. You come in the next day. You repeat. You come in the next day. You repeat. Next week, come up. You don't ask about the schedule. Hey, boss, you want me to come in at this time? They already told you that you come in at that time. Why do you treat your job with the same with that kind of passion? And you go there. They told you one time. This is what time you're supposed to come in. This is what time you get off. And every single week you follow that. But when it comes to the people around you, you don't necessarily put that kind of same commitment into the people around you. I just don't understand that.
To play devil's advocate, at the end of the day, we don't have a very consistent schedule. Other than day.
But go ahead.
If it were to be a situation where like, okay, at this time, every single week, at this time, like be here. If you're not, then we're moving on without you.
But
that would be the thing.
But that's the thing. Why don't we have a consistent schedule?
Then we got to create one.
We don't have a consistent schedule because nobody wants to commit to the schedule. I also have a problem. Like I get what you're saying about the schedule thing. However, there's also another issue when it comes to that. People aren't committed to the schedule.
Then anyone that is in the schedule needs to openly communicate. If there's something that comes up, life happens. If a tire pops, if something happens.
That's the problem. My cat getting sick, it ends up becoming prioritized over work.
Well, then we reevaluate then.
I wanted to spend more time with my girlfriend that prioritized over work. Like,
I mean, we've pulled that too.
No, we pulled that on the job, yes. Will we ever pull that in AMG? I have no idea. I mean, I promise you that wouldn't be the case. Like my biggest gripe at this point is like,
you want some people invested in it just the way you or I are, especially you.
Yeah, because you're mostly invested into the admin side, not necessarily the
creative side.
Yeah, because you don't
say it like that.
You don't necessarily because I would guess that you were about to say creativity, but
yeah,
it didn't come off that way. I got you. I understand that, but this isn't your baby.
I mean, I'm just not very creative. I'm much more of a, okay, let me take care of the clerical side.
But this isn't your baby.
You are.
I'm talking about AMG.
I know. I can still be equally invested. I just am invested in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. But like this isn't your life's work is what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, you helping here isn't going to necessarily be fulfillment to you. And I get
Who
that.
knows?
Hmm?
Who knows?
I know. Cuz even though our destinations align, our goals aren't the same. So no, it wouldn't. I can do the best I can to get AMG to move focus over into to help you, but at the end of the day, this won't necessarily be your bread and butter.
That's fair.
And I
Maker might
understand
be.
that. Huh?
Maker probably will be.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Makram LLC is actually our real estate investing company. Yep.
Yep.
We put that out there. We are real estate investors.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah. People the biggest thing that I see is that people don't want to back a cause. And it's like you can do everything that you possibly can to come up with all type of plans.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it seems like only one person is dedicated to that cause. It's like you always have the same group of people. You have the group that's going to put their everything into it, put their all their money, resources, everything they possibly can into it, work on it for like 22 hours a day. Like you have those people that's going to do that, and then you have the other side of the people that's going to just follow that person and just do
kind
whatever.
of reap the benefits.
And just do whatever. Like yeah, reap the benefits for the most part. Like there's been people who we could probably take this back to the my first car situation where I had the group of friends who was just bumming rides for me, and then when I lost the car, I lost them because they were just bumming off for the ride, and they ended up finding another person that would give them a ride in the same exact car. Which was ironic. I mean, same color and everything. It was ironic as hell. Like I just don't understand how that happened. Like I was like, yo, is that God? What'd I do? Like the lesson was learned though. The lesson was learned. But you have people who just come along for the ride, but they don't necessarily want to do anything that's going to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And it my issue is that I don't know how to address those things.
I think we honestly need to focus on more of finding motivations. Because at the end of the day, like you said, this may or may not be everyone else's baby, including mine.
Right.
You have that passion because it is your baby. Like that is like your goal. Other motivations like me, I want to help people. So if I can see that this is going to help a lot of people, that's what I want to get behind. It's not necessarily the company itself, but I want to see like the impact that it's going to have. Other individuals might have different motivations. Like they may see like connections to be able to write books or might be able to see other connections. But at the end of the day, everyone's motivations are going to be different. And we just have to focus more on having that kind of conversation just in general with anyone that we get involved with.
Here's what I'm thinking, and what came through my mind when you said that. How long do you have to do something on your own, and how long can a person last? So it's just like I feel what you're saying until you find the people who are going to help move you along. But it's like how long can you survive with just you being the only person doing anything and everything?
That's why I'm helping.
But this isn't about you. This isn't about me. This is just in general. Like
you need to set the standard. You accepted it for way too long from everyone that was around you, family, friends, anyone, business partners.
Talk to them. Don't talk to me.
I feel a lot more comfortable just talking to you.
Well, speak on a broader aspect.
You set the expectations. Either they follow it or they're out.
I didn't say shorten it. I said to make it broader. So I think I understand what you're saying to help me out here. You're saying that if I make a plan to do something, and I start to do something, there is no way to, like, if I got other people involved, there is absolutely no way to start something and then switch up and be flexible down the line. I have to state everything that I need, everything I want from the beginning, and cannot alter that. Is what you're saying?
Not necessarily. So what I'm saying is set the expectations with those around you that you plan to have involved. They put in their input. You put in your input. Find some sort of compromise. At that point, if life circumstances change, you have a discussion. Figure out, okay, what changed here? What needs to happen here?
It seemed like, and I could be wrong when I say this. I don't address things like that because it's almost like when you address the issue, people almost get standoffish. It's like, so it's better, like, I know like right now, you riding with me. You doing this, we going together. We are, hand in hand doing something. You're not necessarily putting your best foot forward, but if I tell you you ain't putting your best foot forward because I ain't paying you, then you just gonna fall off. Like, it just kind of seemed like that kind of situation. It's like, what do I have to offer you right now that's going to even get you to do better? And it just feels like one of those situations where I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, okay, my expectations are this. You're coming at about a dead zero. My expectations are about at least an 85. We can't do 100 because we ain't getting paid. And I get that, but I at least expect the 85 out of you, but you giving me 20. But if I tell you to at least push to give me 50, then that's overstepping because we don't get paid. So it's like I don't know how to address those problems.
So are we positive that individuals are only motivated by money? Or are they feeling like their voices are not heard?
But nobody speaks. So in a group setting, if you have the opportunity over and over and over to voice your opinion and you never voice it, what does that say? I don't have an opinion. Right?
Or too scared to voice an opinion.
What gave you what gives anybody
to play devil's advocate? You are very intense sometimes. I love you, and you know I do, but you've even done it with me. I still love you.
Don't back down. No, you say what you mean. Say what you mean. I get it. Even though I'm passionate about what I do.
You are.
And how I do it. I've never given anybody any indication that they couldn't tell me what they were feeling or what they were thinking. Never.
To be fair, I hate the idea of changing around your baby too much because I know that it's your baby. I'm not saying that that's exactly what any other individuals could go through. I'm not willing to speak for them, but I know that in the past I've struggled with it. I don't voice all my opinions all the time because I know that it's your baby. I know that you have a certain vision for your baby. I know that I have a certain vision for how it can improve things.
Okay. All right. Dope. So this actually takes us back to a conversation that we had recently where you were coming up with a plan to do something that could have helped. And you scrapped it because I gave my opinion. And I wasn't telling you that we shouldn't do
You said that at this time it doesn't necessarily help to track all that information because we're not
because
big
that
enough.
information don't exist.
It did.
It didn't.
It did.
We don't put out enough work. I don't, and I know personally that I don't do it.
We don't have a single
You don't do
interaction
it.
ever.
You don't, but we don't have the interactions. That was the
We
thing.
had people interacting with the site.
And that was the thing, though. Like, I just thought that maybe we should do something that makes that relevant. I wasn't telling you to go ahead and scrap it. You scrapped it. I didn't tell you to do it, and I actually got irritated at the fact that you scrapped it because I knew we were going to need it.
No, I got irritated because of the fact that you said that at this moment in time, with this little followership, it does not really serve its purpose. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck it then.
But you didn't need to scrap it.
I did.
You didn't.
I did.
Because even now we know that we need it.
Because you said that.
And now you just got to do it over.
No. Because Facebook does it.
Is it all the information you need?
No.
Exactly. See, it don't make sense. Like, why did we even need to go there? I've never given. I tell people what I feel, and I'm direct. Am I too direct? I don't know.
Sometimes.
Not a thing. Absolutely not a thing. See, I'm direct because if I beat around the bush and tell you, like, all right. So first of all, here's a question that I ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Why allow you to make that document and waste your time trying to find stuff to put on the document?
You recall I was explaining the reason for the document. I was trying to figure out the best times to put information out there so that we can get more interactions. But if we don't know where to start based on what we've done so far, then we're basically grasping at straws.
But if we have the document and say the document makes us post 5-6 times a day with no following, then who sees it?
All the people that will see that, and the more, okay, the algorithm makes sense. The more you put out there, the more that chance and likelihood that somebody will see it, the more likelihood that somebody will share it.
Is that really a thing,
yes.
though? Because I've done situations where I posted stuff.
I mean,
a lot.
5 or 6 times a day is a little ridiculous, but
I mean, Grant Cardone does it because he has a following and he wants to grow his following. But if there's nobody like sharing it, looking at it, then we don't necessarily have anything. But regardless, that document will be needed eventually. You didn't need to scrap it.
Once we have something that's not a free program, we can do that.
But like, I'm pretty much like just saying, like, there should never be a situation like, I'm passionate about what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I speak with passion. If you, as a person who's working with the passionate person, can't feel like you can't speak your ideas, and that says that there's something wrong with that passionate person, or there's something wrong with you as to why you feel like you can't voice your opinion.
I'll take that.
That says that you don't have the backbone to stand your own ground.
Nope, I do not.
So we need to address that problem. However, if I'm being too passionate, we need to come to a agreement of, okay, you need to calm down. You are scaring the fuck out of us. You need to relax.
That's why I do this.
That's why you do that?
Yeah.
I thought you were just petting me because I don't know. Anyway. But the thing is, though, is if the person who's passionate about it is around a whole bunch of people who are not passionate about it, then
I think we all just showed passion in different ways.
But if the person who's passionate about it can't tell if everybody else is passionate about it, then what does the person who's passionate about it do? How does that person not get frustrated?
Call out Henry. The whole purpose of the podcast?
You know what? I need a CJ.
You are the CJ.
I'm not the CJ.
You are the CJ.
Because I still ain't got that in me to just be like, all right, hey, you fucking up.
That rephrase.
Hey, you messing up. I'd already said it like 3 times at this point. You let me at all 3 times.
I kind of was a little bit distracted.
By what? You scared of me? Scared of my passion?
I'm not scared of you. I can fight you. I can scrap.
You definitely could. Mm-hmm. How'd we get here?
And we found it.
How did we get here? How did we get to a point where you have people who say that they want stuff or that they want to do things, but they never put in the actual work to make those things happen? Or they depend on one person to carry them through the situation to get them to where they want to be. How do we get here?
For one, I don't think that we've set the right expectations.
That ain't the point. This ain't about me.
I said we.
This ain't about us. This ain't about none of that. Like, how does a person get to a point where they say that they want something,
Have
that they
we made
want to
the
do
necessary
something,
effort to find their
but they
motivation?
did not do anything to make it happen? They never said any. Like, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. A person who comes out of their mouth to say that they want to do something but never put in the right actions to make it happen. How does that happen? How do we get here?
I've voiced my opinion about it.
This ain't about me. This ain't about AMG. This isn't about anything like that. How does a person come up to a point where they say, "Yeah, this is what I want to do," but they never do anything?
I can speak from several situations where if I don't make the right effort to find somebody's motivations, then it's not going to work.
What they got to do with you finding their motivation? What is their motivation? Why don't they do anything about it? See, that's the problem that I'm having. Like,
that's what teams have to do. They have to find each other's motivation. It's not even about a team thing.
Like, if you want on a team, then like, if I can't expect you to come out and be like, "Yo, what's your motivation to do what you do? What's your motivation to do what you do?"
I know exactly what my motivation is.
Well, that's the thing.
Everyone should.
And that's the problem. Why don't people address those things? Why is it that people don't address those things?
That's what I'm asking.
It shouldn't take a team.
It should.
No, because if you're not on the team, what do? You just ignore it. You just ignore what you do. Like, you just don't have any. You don't have any drive.
Some people don't.
How do we get there?
We have to get out of there. We have to help people find their...
What makes a person get out of bed every single day and just be like, "Yo, I don't want nothing out of life"? What makes a person get out of bed and be like, "Yo, I see everything that the world has to offer, but I'm not even going to try to fight for it. I'm just going to stay here"? What makes a person do that?
Fear.
I'm listening.
People get scared. Of failure, of not knowing, not having the education, not having the time,
People get scared of not having the education?
Not having the education on knowing how to do things.
Then get it.
Okay, lack of resources.
YouTube University?
I'm not speaking me and you.
I mean, I'm talking about anybody. If you scared of not having the information, there's bookstores everywhere. There's internet.
For someone that doesn't read?
You can find the information. You can find an audiobook to read to you if you don't like to read. I hated reading at one point. That's why I have an Audible account with over 50-something books on it. I have books in there in the living room on our bookshelf, and I still had an audio version because I hate reading. I'd rather the author read his book to me because it's more convenient that way. I fall asleep when I'm reading. But regardless, I didn't allow that excuse to form up. I didn't allow myself to do that.
And you are a go-getter.
I needed the info.
There's not everyone that's like that.
But that's the problem. What makes a person just sit on their ass and don't do anything? No, I'm not. I've already cursed in this episode. It's done. This is it. Better luck next time. You should have said something the first time, and I would then.
I did the first time.
You didn't. I was already three F-bombs in and before you said anything.
I give up. I give up.
But still, how does that even happen? I'm more afraid of not having the things that I want in life.
Yeah. And you are like that.
I'm more afraid of being in the same position that I am in now than not being in it when I'm 50 something years old. Mm-hmm. I'm more afraid of what'll happen if I don't do certain things opposed to what happened if I do it.
That is a very me and you type mentality. But not everyone in the world is like that.
But that can't be your excuse. You're making excuses for these people.
Let's pull 20 people from the neighborhood. Ask them. Everyone has differences, different circumstances, different...
Of course.
Realities.
Of course.
You have to take that into consideration.
But what makes a person not want to get out of that reality?
Some people are just complacent. We've had other episodes about this.
And that don't make it any less relevant, because there's still, and we can continue talking about it as long as there are people who are still doing it.
Exactly.
But I want to know is what makes a person get out of bed, right? Like, and we're gonna talk about the day of those type of individuals, right? And I want to paint the picture. So I wake up in the morning and I don't do nothing but complain about my job. All right. Excuse me. I'm gonna need you to calm down. I'm recording a podcast here. All right. So I wake up in the morning. I complain about my job. I go to my job. I complain about my job while I'm there. I get mad at everything at my job. And then I go home. And then I go to work the next day. And then I go home. And I wake up the next morning, complain about my job, go to work, get off, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And continue that same trend every single week. I have a day off, I don't do nothing. Have another day off, don't do nothing. Have another day off, don't do nothing. And I continue that same trend every single week. No matter how much somebody puts into your spirit that this ain't it. You need more. You can't do this for the rest of your life. What is wrong with you? Get off your ass. Do something. Every single day, you do the same thing. You don't add anything into that. You don't do anything to make that any different. You go to work and you get off. 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 Don't that sound repetitive?
Yeah.
How does a person live in that reality and never do anything about it? It makes no sense to me. You can't make logical sense out of it just because a person doesn't have the motivation to do something. At one point, I didn't have the motivation to do it either.
And what changed it for you?
I got tired. I got tired
You
of
didn't
saying,
find the right people to speak it into you?
No.
You didn't find
no.
the right book? You didn't
No.
find the right people
I
to say
looked for
something?
it. I looked for it. I got tired. I got a car repossessed from me, and I asked myself the question, why am I accepting this? So I went online and I did research. Is there ways to make money outside of your job? How to make money on the internet? First question that came up. First suggestion that came up. How to make money on the internet. And I clicked on it. And I dove into this world of network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I dove into the world of network marketing. The reality of entrepreneurship started to open up to me. I started reading about entrepreneurship. I started reading about branding. I started reading about time management, wealthy principles, success principles. Like, I started reading about all those things. The world opened up to me because I asked the question, why am I accepting this? Why is this my reality? Who said that this is how I'm supposed to live for the rest of my life? And the problem that I have with the rest of the world is that nobody else they don't seem to act like that. They don't seem to think like that. You have people out here who just they go to work and they complain about their job while they at work, but then they get off and they don't do anything. And then when you ask them to do something, they make excuses about why they can't do it. And then if you actually get them to do something, they do it for a little minute, then they see that nothing's coming from it, and then all of a sudden they're out. Or they do it for long enough to find somebody else that give them a better opportunity, and then all of a sudden they're out. They can't commit to anything that's not paying them because they don't feel like they are looking for something of job status, and everybody's just looking for jobs. Nobody wants to look for career. Nobody thinks about passion. And I want to know how the world got to a point where the only thing that we're doing is working.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you said something about us needing to just do nothing but work on our days off, I was like, I don't know if that's how I want to live, because I knew the mentality of where you were trying to go versus where we need to be. We don't necessarily need to sit in front of the computer for 24 hours because that doesn't make neither one of us productive. We'd just be dead individuals sitting in front of the computer, tired, trying to stay up.
I said 16 hours.
Still too much. My work day is only 8. I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go from 3 o'clock to 6 p.m. That's a lot. That's a lot to not do much. You got to refresh. It's about being intentional with your time. And most people aren't intentional with their time. Most people just exist in the time that they're awake. And I envy those people. I am envious of those people. You know why?
Because you wish that you didn't have anything to work on? No.
No. Because the fact that I wake up in the morning and I strive to do more, it's a lot more stressful than waking up in the morning with nothing to strive for. For the people who wake up every single morning and don't have anything to fight for, anything to look forward to, the only thing that they're doing is going to work, complaining about work, and shit, they barely go to that. And that's the only thing paying them. Motherfucker snap VTO in front of your face and you willing to take that real quick. But yet when it comes time to do something, oh, I got to go to work. Something that you're passionate about, oh yeah, I got to work that day. Oh, I can't do this because I'll be getting off of work and I'll be too tired to work on anything after work. But when somebody snap VTO in your face, but work was important when you had to do something, but it's not important when you're supposed to be there. And I don't get it. I don't understand that. You needed the money that bad that you had to not do what you needed to do. But when they tell you that you can get VTO, then you go take VTO. And then you don't go home to do anything of relevance with your life. I just don't understand these principles. I don't understand where these people are getting that mentality from. I don't understand what drives them. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
No. That's because me and you are very different individuals. We are very much go-getters. And we know who to not have in the circle.
That's true. I get that. That's obvious. That's obvious. And it may be it's a thing of, and I see the shallowness of the answers that you're giving me, and I think you're trying to get me to just move past it. And John C. Maxwell said to do the same thing. Don't even sign up for that class. Don't try to understand people. Don't even sign up for that class. I get it. You ain't even put no energy into it. Like you just like, oh, well, we know who to be around. Like I get it. And maybe I'm just putting too much thought into it. Practical tips. We're gonna close it out.
Get your shit together.
That's it. They think they shit together. That's the problem.
Something tells me in the back of their mind they know they don't.
I'm gonna have to say they. I can't imagine. I can't imagine they do, because there's no way that you can live like that and know for a fact that in the back of your mind that you're doing right by yourself. There's no way. It's not possible.
Exactly.
This is not possible.
In the back of their mind, they probably know that they're not doing right.
There is no way in hell that those people know what they're doing wrong and just not doing anything about it. It can't be possible.
Some people need the right motivation. There's some people that don't ever lose weight until they have somebody screaming behind them like, hey, do that push-up, do that, do this, do that. Others are like, okay.
Yeah, they most of the time they don't move until they told they about to die.
Exactly. Sometimes it takes the right person to be.
But why do we have to get to that point? So here's the thing.
So there's a difference between those of us that are self-motivated and there's those that are extrinsically motivated. Me and you, very go-getter, got to get this done, make a list. Especially me. I'm one of those that makes a to-do list and writes down something that I've already done just so I can check it off.
But the problem is that the problem with that logic is that when I got the car repossessed, that wasn't the first traumatic financial experience that I had.
It was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, but why does it take us to get to that point in order for us to finally do something about it? Why is it that if I'm overweight, 600 something pounds, why is it that when I have a heart attack and about to die, why is it that that's the moment where I decide that I want to lose weight? At that point, it might already be too late. You could have been in a situation where you could have saved up a little bit of money, start holding money on the side. So if you were to get short on that car payment, you could have easily made it with no problem, with no questions asked. You could have been to the point where it's like, okay, well, I like these cheeseburgers, so let me go ahead and start exercising so I can keep eating these cheeseburgers, even though that ain't necessarily the right way to go about it either. But at the same time, you still could have made some type of difference had you been a little bit more active. Okay, I like these cheeseburgers. Let me not eat it every single day. Let me save it as a reward. Let me eat healthy, eat the cheeseburger one time a week. Therefore, it has a little bit more value to me. Let me do that opposed to eating a cheeseburger every day, eating the greasy food every single day, so that I don't have that heart attack. Because it's not like I don't know that heart attacks happen. It's not like I don't know that smoking cigarettes can kill you. It's not like I don't know that those things aren't real. Like they're there. They exist, and the causes for these things are known to just about everybody at this point. So
once again, I will circle back to motivations.
I think
do they care more about being healthy? Do they care more about providing a better lifestyle for themselves later? Or do they feel like comfort now is more valuable?
You just gave me the title for this episode.
Congratulations, me.
Pat yourself up. I got you.
I'd appreciate it. You're such a corny person.
Anyway, what I'm seeing is that people would much rather give themselves a reward every day, opposed to doing the things to reward themselves.
Yeah.
For that in that situation, it's like I want the reward, but I'm not going to work for the reward. And if I can get some quick gratification, some immediate, some instant gratification, then I'm going to go ahead and take that route while I got it. So, I get what you're saying. And I want to close it off on this note. Be intentional about what you do, man. Like, Alyssa has just told me that maybe I'm too passionate, and that might be one of the reasons why I'm in some of the situations that I'm in. And that may be the case, but at the same time, you can't let a person's passion stomp on yours. Like, if everybody that I'm working with much rather not work with me, then I would much rather them say that, opposed to us moving into the direction that we're moving and get let down in the end. That is what I'm going to put out there from my personal situation. I don't want this episode to stomp on anybody's toes. I'm not trying to like sneak diss anybody, nothing like that, or air dirty laundry or anything like that. Like, what I want to do is understand what's going on with me and what's going on around me a little bit better, and that's why we're having this conversation now. Trying to understand why others do the things that they do, and what I suggest to most of you out there, to anybody listening to this, is that you be more intentional with how you do things, how you move, and everything that you say. Don't agree to anything that you obviously have no intentions on doing or cannot do. Don't say yes to something that you aren't ready for. And if you say yes to something that you know you can't maintain, then go ahead and say that, because I'm pretty sure that the person that you're working with, your teammate, your partner, will be more receptive and respect you a lot more if you actually say what you're feeling and what's on your mind and the things that you can and can't do, opposed to trying to do them and letting them believe that you are in it for what you say you're in it for. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. And for the people who don't want anything in life, I apologize. I wish I was you, because I think it would be a lot better for my state of mind And I would have a lot less headaches if I was like you and didn't want absolutely anything in life. And I'm going to just be real. If they don't want anything in life, they probably ain't listening to this podcast anyway. Because this ain't that type of podcast.
Yeah. This one makes you think.
The elephant.
Hi, Henry.
All right, then. With that being said, Alyssa and I have things that we need to do. And we're going to go ahead and make this, we're going to cut it off here. Because we are definitely over our time. Well, I think it was like 20 minutes in before we actually start saying anything.
Right around an hour. Right around an hour then.
Yeah. So, I think Alyssa and I are going to go ahead and close this one out. So we'll see you guys next week.